is Cynthia Gartman with Seniors Blue Book. We're here today with Jeff Belomo of Belomo and Associates. Hi, Jeff.
Hey Cynthia, how you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm really
Good.
excited about today.
Yeah, I am too. So we are talking today in our Senior Care Spotlight about how do we take the fear out of dying. Now, Jeff, I don't think you're a doctor.
Nope,
Nope. So you're not going to talk to us about how to stay healthy.
nope, can't do
I
that.
don't think you're a spiritual advisor, although you're a spiritual person.
Yep, you are correct about that.
So I'm excited to find out what you're going to talk to us about how we take the fear out of dying. So Jeff, you are an elder law attorney. You are, in fact, a very educated elder law attorney. You have a certified elder law status. I know you think it makes you sound boring, but it doesn't. And there's not a lot of SELAs out in the world, so congratulations for that.
Thank
You've also got a master's degree in taxation, and no, that
you.
doesn't make you boring.
Yep,
And you're an educated elder law and state attorney, right?
yeah, absolutely, you got
Absolutely.
it.
Okay, good. So tell us a little bit about your firm and about yourself.
Sure. So Belomo and Associates is over 11 years old. We're actually coming on 12 years. We are an estate planning and elder law practice. We do everything from your basic powers of attorney and last will and testament, the whole way up to asset protection, tax planning, advising seniors as they age on asset preservation, and just making sure that they have everything in order and everything dotted, all the I's dotted and T's crossed so that they can live the rest of their life without fear, knowing that everything is taken care of and that they can sleep at night. So I ended up getting into kind of going out on my own and into elder law because of my mother becoming ill and in the hospital. And we needed to learn, is dad going to lose the house? What are the options for care? How are we going to pay for it? And unfortunately, it just wasn't there. The answers weren't there. The advice wasn't there. I wasn't necessarily pleased with how the legal profession provided the advice or how they charged for it. And I just decided that at some point in the future, I would go out on my own, create my own estate planning and elder law practice. And we do everything through education. So we believe in education first and foremost. We have pre-planning workshops, we have crisis planning workshops, we have special needs planning workshops, just trying to educate first and foremost so that what happened to my family in the hospital room that day doesn't happen to other families in the future.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. So, Jeff, what's the biggest problem if you don't have an accurate current will?
Well, a lot of things, if you don't have a current will, you can certainly be dealing with issues of things becoming out of date, people's names changing, asset
Right.
levels changing, and just not necessarily reflecting what you really intended at the time that you created it, which is why we really encourage people to revisit it every 1 to 3 years. Sit down. I'm not saying you have to redo it, but
Yeah.
at least revisit it. Take a look at your overall wealth. Take a look at your beneficiaries. Take a beneficiary designations. I'm sorry. Take a look at everything as a whole, so that
Right.
you are sure that every day it is up to date. And one of the things that we see is people assume that if they don't have a will, it's no big deal. And I say, well, that depends, right? There is something called an intestate succession statute in the state of Pennsylvania that will tell us where the assets will go. But that's not necessarily where you would want it to go.
Right.
I had a really good friend of mine whose father passed away unexpectedly, and he did not have a will. And there were three boys. Him and his wife were married for almost 50 years. And of course, everybody comes into my office thinking that everything's going to go to the wife. But under the intestate succession statute, she got the first 30,000, and then she had to split everything else with her boys, 50-50. And I don't think that, certainly that lady and that family did not expect that. I know for a fact that the husband didn't think that that would be the case. And so not having a plan or not having one that's current or up to date,
Mhm.
man, it could cause so many issues for the family. and it can be easily avoided.
Hmm. Yeah. And the last thing you want, especially if there's an unexpected death, is to leave your family with that extra burden of dealing with all that other stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? In that specific case, it worked out because the boys all gifted the money back to mom because they knew that mom needed it. But I asked this question. It's a rhetorical question, but how many families would count on the children giving the money back at their own free will if they
Yeah.
don't have to?
Yeah.
And the answer is maybe some, but there are going to be some that probably would be willing, but they
Right.
can't. They can't because they're in a divorce. They can't because they were in
Right.
a car accident. They can't because they are in a nursing home. So there
Right.
are, we got lucky in that case, is what I'm trying to say. But don't
Right.
count on luck.
Yeah. So Jeff, I've heard that powers of attorney are not needed because we're married. So I don't need a power of attorney. I'm married. I've been married for a long time. Is that true?
No, it's not true. And, I can lecture until I'm blue in the face on this one, but I feel like nobody wants to listen to me. Um, I will say this. Let's break out our healthcare decisions from our financial decisions.
Okay.
On the healthcare side, there is a healthcare statute in Pennsylvania that provides that the next of kin will be able to make decisions. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect. If you're married and you have kids to another relationship, don't worry. They're going to get along perfect and they're going to hold hands and they'll sing kumbaya as they make decisions. Okay, maybe not, but at
Goodness.
least there is a way for the decisions to be made.
Yeah.
On the financial side, if an individual owns assets in their name alone, there is nobody authorized to make any decisions. Married or not, your spouse does not have the ability to do that. And everybody says, well, everything we own is joint. Is it?
Not really.
I own a car in my name alone. So if I became incapacitated this afternoon, could my wife sell my car to be able to pay the bill? No, not unless she's my power of attorney.
Yeah.
And here are the assets that people forget about. I always ask people, do you own a retirement account? Yeah, I have some money set aside. Yeah, what type of account do you have? Now, it doesn't matter whether it's a 401k, a 403b, an IRA, they are all retirement accounts, which the law says have to be owned by an individual
Hmm.
in their name alone. Now,
Right.
everybody always says to me, I own an IRA. And I say, yeah, well, what does IRA stand for? Individual retirement account. Who
Yep.
owns an individual retirement account? The individual.
Yep.
So almost every one of us is going to have assets in our name alone. And the argument is, yeah, but my wife is the beneficiary. Yeah, but beneficiaries don't take effect until you die.
Right.
So you need to make sure that if you become incapacitated, somebody is authorized. Now, you may name your wife, you may name your husband, sure,
Mm.
but you need the document in place to make sure that it happens.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So I've also heard, don't laugh at this, that if you're in your good that you're if you're in good shape. So I'm thinking of my daughter who's 20 something and in absolute perfect shape. She is an Olympic weightlifter, not a hazardous sport at all. But she's in great shape, so she doesn't need a POA. Is that right?
Well, as long as she'll never get in a car accident, have a stroke, I think that it's a very slippery slope
Mm-hmm.
to try to play God and to try to kind of figure out what's going to happen in life. I think it's certainly wonderful that she's healthy and young, but for example, people go off to college, and parents often think
Yeah.
that they can call and talk to the registrar or call and talk to the business office about the tuition bill or about grades. And once a person becomes 18, they're on their own. And a lot of parents going off to college will pay to have their kids have powers of attorney so that they can still make decisions on their behalf. And I
Absolutely.
just think that in your daughter's case, for example, I mean, we certainly hope and pray
Yeah.
that she will remain healthy for a long, long time. But I think playing and betting on stuff like that, it just isn't worth it because what we
Yeah.
have to do if something were to happen by having to go through a guardianship proceeding and a guardianship process and the money that it takes and the emotional toll that it takes. To me, it just isn't worth the risk.
Yeah, I agree. It's a painful, painful process. Having come
Yeah.
out of care management and guardianship, yeah, I know, I know.
Yeah.
So, you've already kind of alluded to a medical health statute that helps people if they don't have a power of attorney. Can you explain the downsides, though, of that statute and how it works?
Yeah, it's like it's with any statute, it's with any government rule, which is, I believe they do it with our best interest at heart. I believe they write it, trying to help, but it can't take into account what everybody wants or what everybody believes. So you have
Right.
the one size fits all statute
Hmm.
that may or may not work in the situation that we're in. And where I
Right.
see it cause the most heartache is in a situation where you have a married couple who has children to different relationships, and the
Right.
children and the new spouse or the children and the new power of attorney or the person making the decisions medically don't get along.
Hmm.
And that spouse probably believed that their new spouse would make the decisions,
Hmm.
but the statute says that they both get to make them, and
Yeah.
it just causes the heartache. And I joked earlier about holding hands and singing "Kumbaya," but the truth is we all know that's not what happens. And
Right.
um, it's the same with not having a will when you die. That intestate succession statute is better than nothing. It really is,
Hmm.
but it certainly didn't provide for a husband or a wife who were married for almost 50 years. It provided half and half for the kids. Well, I don't know
Yeah.
that that's what the wife would want. So I just
Right.
think with any time you're relying on the government's rules in any situation, you're always better, in my opinion, to have your own rule book.
Yeah. Yeah. Get your ducks in a row so that your family can deal with all the other stuff that's going on, whether it's medical issues or whatever, right?
You got
So they can have the best peace of mind and know what's
it.
going to at least
Absolutely.
happen in the basics.
Absolutely.
So at the end of this video, which is not too far away, they're going to see your contact information. They're going to see your website, which is belomoassociates.com. How do folks engage your firm if they're interested? They'll have access to your phone number and all that kind of good stuff, but how do they engage your firm?
Yeah, I mean, we highly encourage people to be educated. So we offer pre-planning, crisis planning, special needs planning workshops. They are
Awesome.
2 hours long. We will send you the link so that you can watch them at the comfort of your home. We will send you dates and times where we're hosting virtual events. We'll send you dates and times where we're hosting live events. Obviously, we
Great.
will keep the numbers down and we will certainly keep socially distanced, but whatever, people learn differently. So there'll be plenty of options to get educated. And then once you're educated, you'll get a free consultation with an attorney in the office, either
Okay.
Attorney Dan Hill or me. And we'll sit with you for an hour and you tell us kind of what your goals are or what it is that's bringing you in or what your concerns are. And we'll be able to answer all questions. And then to the extent that there's anything that may be needed, we'll tell you up front what the cost would be. And that way
Okay.
you've been educated for about 3 hours for free and have answers to all your questions, and then you can make decisions moving forward.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I do highly recommend Jeff's events. He
Thank
is
you.
not boring. He's very, very entertaining and fun. I started life as a paralegal. I've known a lot of attorneys, and you're probably one of the most entertaining ones that I've ever known. So good
Thank
job.
you. I appreciate that. I enjoy it, that's for sure.
That's awesome. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and bye, Jeff.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.